Hey everybody, Eccentric here, and welcome to the video. Today we'll be watching a 26 Atal'Dazar from a Pharaoh perspective. Here are my talents, in case you're wondering. You can look at the log and the links below, if you wish to see more details. Today, we are running with the 3 DPS of me as a Feral Druid, an Outlaw Rogue, and a Fire Mage. As for our tank, we have a Vengeance Demon Hunter, and our healer is a Resto Druid. We start off this key in Tyrannical by going straight to Rezan. This way, we can use our Lust right away, and have it be most efficient on a boss in a Tyrannical week, rather than the trash you might do on the left side in a different week. Right away in this, our Fitness Demon Hunter decides that instead of running away from pursuit, he is going to instead get eaten, and attempt to break the key, right from the get-go. But he lives, so everything is okay. He almost immediately gets the pursuit again and pulls us over to this side. And then the pursuit continues to proceed normally. Right up until our healer dies. At this point, the boss is at about 27% HP, and I attempt to send the healer a B-res. But instead of that happening, the healer declines and says, "You guys will be fine without it." So we continue on, and sure enough, the boss is going down smoothly, and there really isn't anything to heal here. So, no big deal. From here, we proceed across the way and up these stairs to continue with our trash packs. We pick up these Sky Screamers, and we kill them as we're moving towards the swords up the staircase. I put down Ursul's along with my healer, and this makes it so the swords can't jump at anybody. We proceed across the bridge and pick up more trash. As we're about to head up and go towards the next boss, we remember that we need more percent from these swords over here, so we pick them up as well. From here, we'll be going up and doing the mage packs that you might start the dungeon with in a fort week, with the charging guys and the interrupts. For this, it's very helpful to have Ursul's because it will stop the charges from reaching their destination. But you also need to make sure to focus down the auger, as the interrupt and damage it can deal can be quite impactful. We may be seeing an example of how impactful the fire casts can be up here in just a minute, as I will be taking about 4 or 5 of them in a row, and unfortunately I will not live through this, as the healer has also died from a charge at the time, and so sometimes it happens, so we run back. And we finish the pack. Now we can head over towards the totem boss, and we'll do this totem trash with the guards that we have to stop. As a druid here, I can use my in-cap roar, I could use my haymaker as a cool Tyran, or I can typhoon them around and absolutely do nothing. We attempt to rotate our stops for any forms of things, as well as just generally clearing this trash. Everything's going pretty smoothly in this key. At this point we have 5 deaths, mostly from that last magic pack. And we are on 1 minutes left, 30% forces, and 1 boss done. If we take a quick moment to look over at the DPS and healing meters, the Outlaw Rogue is just absolutely a monster, followed by the Fire Rogue, followed by me as a Feral Druid. This is partly due to the fact that Feral Druid was in Season 1 too good and received nerfs that we never got quite recovered from. Speaking of which, there are tier set votes up right now, and we'll be doing a recap season after this. And personally, I hope that people are voting. I hope to see Season 1's tier set come back. Though I acknowledge that we won't be as strong as we were with Season 1. I honestly just don't like being forced into taking Feral Frenzy. Though the burst window is fun in some raid encounters. Now we have to do the trash down here because we just lusted something. The trash above, up before. I honestly didn't even notice when that happened. So, we're just buying time now. We will be doing the boss of Outlast. Right after we do this, I believe, yes, the Demon Hunter will cage the left monster so we can all walk by. I come over and I opt to do this totem, but I'm afraid that I will be too close and aggro, so I wait until the gate closes. Because it is possible to aggro those, although I believe if where I'm standing, I would have been okay. I occasionally pan my camera around and check the other totems. At this point, I ask Edit for help because I know I'm quite a bit behind. As this totem's about to go down, I go and help him finish off the other 3. We smoothly phase into phase 2, and at this point, it's just an interrupt game and don't stand in bad. I don't believe I can get any of these interrupts here, unfortunately. I do attempt a couple times, but I'm just a little late to the draw. You can see on the interrupt meter above, up and to the left of the timer, on the upper right of the screen, who hit their interrupt first. In that case, I might have actually been the first one, so it might have been my interrupt, though I'm not super sure without watching it back. We proceed around this ring for quite a while, as this is a tyrannical 26, and our boss damage isn't the highest it could possibly be. But we have room endlessly because it does clear itself slowly. At which point, when we beat it, the Demon Hunter cages that mob again, and we walk by. And now we're heading across, and we'll be fighting more swords, where more Ursols will be in play, and we'll be interrupting and clearing these Screechers, I believe is what they're called. We are now over halfway done with the dungeon, with 14 minutes left on the clock. We are making our way to the Priestess boss by going straight across the bridge, and then we'll be going up the flaming staircase. There is an auger in this pack, which is noteworthy that you should focus it down, because just like above, the auger is the most dangerous mob in the pack. With Sanguine, we do have to be careful about keeping things out and moving, which isn't necessarily easy. Right there, we actually almost have our tank bait about 3 different people into the fire by being just slightly too close, but luckily we avoid having any unfortunate, untimely deaths to the map rather than mobs. As soon as we make it up the staircase, we go left to pick up the rest of the percent. Between this and the mobs in front of the Priestess, I believe we end up at 100%. This is a pretty simple dungeon, and I really like it. I think it's actually probably one of the better dungeons from BFA, if not the best one. In my opinion, Waycrest Manor is one of the worst. Unfortunately, it was put into this season. But on the bright side, it no longer randomizes its doors, so, you know, it could be worse. Right here, we have a lot of ways to displace the ad and keep it from reaching the puddles. And we use so. We use multiple Ursols, Typhoons, and etc. During the transfusion phase, while I'm away from the boss, I opt to go into bear form and use my frenzied regen to keep my HP topped off. Because otherwise you might end up like the rogue right there, who just got deleted. I think he also may have been hit by a golden orb. Right there, you'll see that I actually used my Haymaker punch on that too. It sends it flying all the way into the wall. That was actually surprising to me because I am not used to seeing that level of distance gained. With the Priestess boss down and all the inner forces, all that's left is to go and kill the boss with our last 8.5 minutes. At which point I announced to the group that this is the hardest part of the dungeon, because someone almost always dies. And they laugh and say that that's not true. Right up until our mage dies. Everyone has a good laugh. And we start the boss right after eating. This boss is probably one of the most terrifying and stressful bosses for the dungeon. It has consistent high levels of AoE damage burst, very high targeted damage, and the floor can get quite messy with spiders if people aren't grouped and keeping them tight-knit. All of the soul runs, we opt to run out to our healer. Also, during this fight, having a Shadow Melt in your group, you can actually cancel the targeted attack, just like Rezan. At certain points, the healer was calling for it from the Demon Hunter, but unfortunately the Demon Hunter didn't have it on cooldown. This was because, if you watch closely, or have been watching, you'll see that the targeted person for the Racking Pain was Ichizabi, the healer, for about 3 or 4 times in a row. I think I got it literally twice this entire fight. And both times I was just able to simply go into bear form and frenzied regen, use bark skin, survival instincts, etc. I can live for quite well on that against the mechanic, though I do have to sacrifice damage to stay alive. And right there you'll see that Ichizabi is sitting on 3% mana left. So your healer at 3% mana and the boss at 15%, you are really just racing time, as there is high levels of damage that need to be healed. Luckily, we survive, and very shortly here, we clear the boss, right after I res my healer again. If you've watched this far, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting with any questions. With that, I'll be encouraged to record more of these as I climb higher in keys. Thank you!